The T-54 lightweight is a Soviet Tier 8 light tank. It was proposed as a lightweight version of the T-54 medium tank. The development started in the May of 1949. Compared to the series-produced predecessor, the tank had better performance and maneuverability. Therefore, the tank was planned to replace the T-54 in accomplishing complicated missions. However, the T-54 tank in the 1945 was being improved and mass-produced, and the lightweight version was cancelled while still in design phase. In World of Tanks, it is probably one of the best light tanks at Tier 8, and it is also an ESL tank. But let's see what it can do in some random gameplay. Hello guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the T-54 lightweight, and driving the T-54 lightweight is Robbie. He is on the map Westfield, as you can see, on the standard battle mode, and we are going to see what a light tank can do in a pretty nice setup for a light tank, because there are only 3 tier 9s and the rest are tier 8 and 7. Actually there are some tier 6 scouts, but nevertheless, let's see what a T-54 in a light version can do in this matchup. So as you may have known already, the Russians have a lot of T-54 tanks. We had a previous video, that's the T-54 mod 1. It's a premium tier 8. We have the T-54 standard version, and now we are going to see what the light tank can do in a pretty nice matchup. So the positioning that he took on the beginning of the map, these bushes right here, are where usually the scouts and the medium tanks go at the beginning to try and find the shots on the side of the tanks that are going to cross. Now he found a shot on that Lorraine 40 tons that was going forward, and now he is in the defending position on this, that's G0. He is going to defend from the tanks on the K0, that's Lorraine and RU-251. Now the medium tank, that's the T-34-100, the Czechoslovakian tier 7, is trying to push forward on the enemy tanks, and all of the medium tanks decide to go forward, trying to flush out that Lorraine and the RU. Fortunately, Robbie gets shot twice here and loses a huge amount of his HP. 1250 is the HP on the lightweight, and it's really not enough, but it's not bad compared to some other tier 8 light tanks. So you get, I believe you get more than the MX 1390, and you get around same as the WZ, maybe 50 HP more or less. Now they found a huge cluster of enemy tanks here, and they really don't want to go forward to fight off with them. So they are deciding to take it slowly and go on the town against this Rheinmetall Borsig that is trying to put shots and snipe from the back. Now he's in a bad position, he was in the open, and it was a matter of time when the Borsig is going to be dead. Now you can see that the medium tanks are doing their best to fight off on the, I believe it's 3 tanks, yeah, 3 tanks over there. The Rheinmetall kills the STA-1, so now it's 2, but we don't know where that RU-251 went. So they may be in a pincer here, because, yeah, there's the RU behind them, and now they have to maneuver quickly to relocate backwards. They don't want to get closed in here between the couple of tanks shooting on them. So Robbie puts a nice shot here on the RU. He is keeping that tank between him and the RU, and he is trying to find a shot on the cupola of the RU to finish him off. Fortunately, he wasn't able to find the shot on the side of the cupola, but the second shot goes in. Now there is only 4 minutes in the game, and you can see that he is starting to run out of standard shells here. So he is carrying, I believe, 34 shells as any T-54 on tier 8, so that's basically not enough to fight off the entirety of the match. but we will see how many shells he is going to have left at the end of the game. So as you can see, the game is not going very well for them because they have lost more tanks than the enemies. To be exact, it's 8-3, 8-5, and they're in a position from where they cannot help the heavy tanks that are in the city. Now, this maneuver that you saw here is really nice because he wants to take care of that light tank that is trying to shoot on their back, and also try and spot on the Jack Panther 2 that is on the other side. As you can see, the WZ-132 is in their base, so from every position they are surrounded, and it is a matter of time when the E-75 and the IS-6 on the other side are going to be dead. Now, they are very good tanks. I don't wanna say that they will die in vain, but it looks like that they are on the run and that they have fought with the enemy heavies and now have to deal with the medium tanks and the tank destroyers that are on that side. So I was talking about the tank. It's a Russian machine with 175mm of penetration, 250 damage with each shell. The DPM on this tank is around 2000 with the 100% crew, but you can get it up to 2500 if you have the ventilation and the gun rammer and everything else that puts your DPM up. So the E-75 is holding up very well, and he gets killed by the MT-25, and the WZ is circling around the IS-6 and he gets killed, taken away as well. Now it's all left to Robbie in his T-54 lightweight and in his FV. He has only 8 shells. He is telling the FV that he has only 8 shells, so he has to be really careful and he has to really aim all of those shells to finish off. And this is something that you don't want to be left against. So he has 7 shells and 2 AG, and he is 1 versus 6. So it's a Kolovanov's medal if he is able to finish this. Now, he said GG. He is basically giving up because there is no way he can win this, right? Or can he? So let's see what's going to happen here. First shot finds the French premium tank, Revelrise, or whatever you call that tank, I really don't know how to pronounce that. And he is left with 6 shells, running away from the artillery, just in the nick of time there to survive that, yeah. So what he needs to do now is spot on the enemy tanks. So there's the WZ. The WZ seems to... really didn't find a shot on the WZ, and now he is spotted as well. He is in a pretty awkward situation here. They know where he is. He is trying to spot on the other side, finds the MT-25, but the MT-25 was the sight of him, and oh my god, the T-34 100 full HP, the out the MT-34, 2 bounces on the T-34 and the WZ. He turns around for the WZ, kills the WZ, T-34 100 trying to find a shot on the side, penetrates one, and he is surely done for. But the Jack Panther 2 saves him, because the Jack Panther 2 was trying to help and kills his own teammate. So yeah, he was 1 versus 6 and now he is 1 versus 2. Well, that's something that you don't see every day. He has the opportunity to win this, because if we recall, the Jack Panther 2 had only, I believe, 100 or 150 HP. That's enough for 1 shell that he has remaining. That's a PCR on this tank. Now, the positioning of the Jack Panther 2 is somewhere on the other side of the ridge, because from that position he killed the T-34. So Robbie decides here to flank the Jack Panther 2. He is going to the most unexpected position that he can. He's going to try and flying to Jack Panther 2 in a way around to find a shot on his sides as he tries to move up maybe to cap. So he is against a Jack Panther 2 and a artillery. He really is an allied tank, doesn't really have to be worrying about artillery. It's a pretty mobile machine. If the artillery hits him in this tank, that's some very skillful artillery player, but we will see. So he is trying to find a nice position to ambush the Jack Panther 2. He is driving around here. Really, if I was in his place, I would probably go forward to the center of the map, that's F5, and try and find the Jack Panther there, because he's probably somewhere out there in that position from where he shot and where he was last spotted, and maybe from that position go and find the shot on the Jack Panther, maybe spot him first, because it's a light tank. It gets better camera rating and it has camouflage in the move, and also it probably has better view range than the Jack Panther 2. Now he is trying to find the spot on the artillery from this position as well, but it looks like that the artillery is hidden very well here. He goes to the bushes. That's the last bush probably where he can go, not to get spotted by the artillery. Now the problem is, if he goes forward, if the Jack Panther 2 is in the position where he was last spotted, he can easily kill him from the position above him, and you really don't want to give up the high ground when you are fighting alone against two tanks in this kind of position and this kind of matchup. So pretty careful here on the position, last known position of the Jack Panther 2. Where could he be? So this is where he was last spotted. Nope, nothing still. I presume that Robbie is using coated optics. He is driving around, not really caring about spotting from the bushes. Trying to find the Jack Panther 2 in the small city, but it looks like he moved from this position and he cannot really find the position on the Jack Panther 2. You can see that he's driving really carefully here. Is he trying to avoid the fences, not to give away his position if the enemies are using mods? If he is doing so, this is very clever play. Well, let's see where the Jack Panther 2 is. Maybe he went for the cap, or maybe he went to defend. Yeah, somebody is capping, so it may be the artillery, maybe the Jack Panther 2. Excellent view range on the lightweight. The Jack Panther 2 realizes that he's spotted, but it's too late, and now he hits the Jack Panther 2 and immediately moves forward. He didn't get spotted here when he shot, so that means the artillery is not going to find a shot at this moment on him. He's left in 2 HE shells. Now that's enough to kill the tier 9 artillery that's left on the enemy team. All he needs to do now is find it. So 2 HE shells, I believe every one of those shells can do up and above 300 HP. The only problem is if they do not penetrate. If he hits the gun mantlet or something like that and doesn't penetrate the artillery, he can be in big trouble. If he had some regular shells, 250 on the regular shells probably would have killed the artillery and probably wouldn't have the possibility to, I don't want to say bounce because HE shells don't bounce, but not to do damage, not to do enough splash damage. So he's playing really carefully here. As the Jack Panther 2 was trying to cap, he is thinking that the artillery could also be trying to cap. He is checking out left and right where the artillery could be. He has 1 minute 20 seconds to the end of the game, and you can see in the chat that the enemies are saying that he's had a good game. He's a bit skeptical, it's not over yet. You know how those artilleries can get in the last shot pretty easily to one-shot you if they shoot just near you. He's on 65 HP, so artillery only needs to splash him and he will be dead. So it's 50 seconds till the end. He's going for the artillery full YOLO mode on the position where the artillery usually is on the K1. He cannot really cap now, he needs to find artillery if he wants to win this. And it would be a 6 tanks 1 versus 6 Kolobanov's battle. Now he fires the artillery. First shot, carefully aimed, 300 damage. With the second shot he only needs 140. Aiming on the artillery. And the artillery snapshots in 30 seconds before the end. This was one of the biggest heartbreaks I ever saw. Still, Robbie had an excellent game. He got a couple of medals like Bruiser, Fire for Effect, Naidin's medal for killing all of the light tanks in the enemy team, more than 3, Top Gun, Lucky for witnessing a destruction of enemy tank, that's the T-34 100 next to him, and of course the Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. On team score sheet you can see that he got 1563 experience, 6 kills and almost 4700 damage. On detailed report we can see that he fired 33 shots, of which 25 hit the target and 23 penetrated. As he was firing a couple of premium shells, he had a loss of 24,000 credits with the premium account. So in retrospect, let's see what we saw in this gameplay. Now we saw a standard positioning of the light tank on the left side of the map, from which he was fighting with the light tanks and the medium tanks on the other side. Unfortunately, the enemies took to the big city on the top side and he was left alone against 6 tanks at the end. Even though he was 1 versus 6, he didn't really give up. He found a couple of easy kills on the enemy tanks and with a little bit of luck he was able to survive the engagement against 2 enemy tanks. At the end he was playing very carefully and planned his approach to finish off the Jack Panther 2. Unfortunately, at the very last end he wasn't able to put the final nail in the coffin on the enemy team. All in all, it was a really nice gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you liked the video, like it, share it, and maybe consider subscribing for more content like this one. If you are wondering what you can watch next, you can see the previous video in the top right corner on the I button. It's the T-54 but mod 1 premium. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and I'll see you in the next.